Hi, good day. Our course is bioethics. In the first place, it is ethics. It is about conduct, conduct of man. Uh, in my case, as priest and in the church, we cannot just have conduct from what we have learned from the Bible, our sources of our faith, Bible, uh, tradition, and the magisterium of the church. So, there are also the sources of our uh, objective decision when it comes to doing what is good, what is bad. We have our own interpretations of morality. Most Morris. So, morality comes from this idea that we learn from major principles, including what we have learned from the church, then form our own judgment. We cannot just say that after having learned from principles, now I can make judgments on my own, which we might believe that it is already final. You cannot say anything final. What you will say after studying will not be like a dogma in the church, because dogma in the church is the church decision to make something a dogma, like Immaculate Conception, etc. When we make decision, of course, we follow the principles we have learned from the Bible and our authentic interpreters, those in the church. We have the Holy Father, the bishops, priests. Priests, those in the church, will follow, of course, the teaching magisterium of the church. So, in this course, as future nurses, it's always nice, it's always good to learn from principles, which are the actions that are good, bad, or indifferent. I don't have to discuss them. We'll discuss them when we talk about the topics, because there are terms in which maybe they're new, but they're very important in our day-to-day life, especially among nurses. So, from the general principles, as I've said, from the Bible, from learn from the commandments of God, 10 commandments, from the principles in ethics, those which had been practiced long time ago and then being applied, being done by people for quite a long time. For us Catholics, we always listen to the church teachings. Okay. And then we have some topics which are very important in the realization of what we said about ethical principles we can use in making our decisions. Hoping that in the end we can have good decisions as Christian or Catholic nurses for not only for your for our own good, but for the good of the patients and the hospital and of course church. Very broad. However, there's so many things to be learned. Ethics is divided into two: general and special. General is more or less we have the principles. In ethics, we study uh, natural law, moral law, human acts, modifiers of human acts, uh, three sources of morality, objects, circumstances, and end. We will study also some very recent, although they said it's already outdated, the four major principles. Uh, Principles of stewardship, totality, double effect, and cooperation. So these four major principles. At least having this foundation, our conscience will be formed in accord with the principles of morality. At least they are approved by the church. So more or less, we can say, or we can be assured that our decisions are not immoral but moral. Not amoral because amoral, AMORAL, no morality. So we will talk about them in our discussion of the topics so that we can be clarified in our desire to have principles that can be used not only in our day-to-day life but most especially as nurses for the good, not only your mind, but for the good of the patients and for everybody. So, in our uh, syllabus, you can find in our syllabus, as what I did, no, I did the course description. There are still general objectives, but you can read them uh, in your notes, specific objectives, etc. And then, yeah, we will include uh, the topics which are for gaining knowledge about general ethics, like what is ethics, what is bioethics, health ethics, etc. The natural law, conscience, human act, act of man, but they are not that hard because they're in the book, like human act. We know what is human act. It's my action. It's in accord with our will, knowledge, having the knowledge. We can apply human act then to conscience. Conscience is with knowledge. Now voluntariness and human act, more or less they are the same because a human act is a voluntary act. It comes from the will. And then modifiers like ignorance, concupiscence, fear, habit, violence, they all affect, if not totally affect, the morality of the human act. So you have the human act, we have the modifiers, they modify. Either they will make the action grave or lesser grave, but they don't outrightly take away all the guilt a person will have when doing the action. Because, for example, in ignorance, yeah, you acted in ignorance, but why are you ignorant? Maybe you did not study. That's why you ignorant. Still, you have the guilt you will incur is not totally. You have no sin at all. You're ignorant. Why? Why are you ignorant? And it can also be discussed with prudence, one of the cardinal virtues. So there's so many things we will talk about. We will include in our topics virtues. That's why virtues are necessary. Virtues are constant doing, the constant doing of good works, constant doing of what is good. That is habit. You're forming a habit. Okay, so at least you have that idea what is a virtue. Then ends of human acts. Just enough knowledge to know what is good, what is bad, what is indifferent, what is amoral, having the principles. But when things are so hard, especially nowadays, yeah, I should try to consult books, library, or priests or good enough to tell you what is this. Because especially nowadays, we have so many things like gay marriages, LGBT, and all these things. How will you react on those things? Maybe we'll have assignments on all those, which will make our course very interesting. But at the moment, thanks for listening. God bless you.